jQuery is a library that contains lots of methods, which make it much easier to manipulate HTML documents, add animation, along with a bunch of other things. Since jQuery is a library, it has an API that we can use to access its functionality. API stands for Application Programming Interface, and it basically states the methods or functions we can call inside of our code if we import the library. For example, let's say we had a class named Blue and made its elements have blue text. We could use the add class method and add the blue class to all the P elements with something similar to this, where we'd have p.addClassBlue. This may be confusing right now, but don't worry, we'll figure it out. To start, we'll open Sublime and create an index.html file, so we'll go index.html, and then we'll also create a script.js file, and so we'll save this, and we'll put it in a folder called JS, and so we'll have that, and then we'll call this script.js, and this will hold all of our JavaScript and our jQuery code. And so going back to our HTML, we'll just add some boilerplate here, and we'll add a quick script tag here with js/script.js, close it up here, and just like we did for our Bootstrap, we're going to need to import the JavaScript library, and so we'll go and look up the link, jQuery link, and then add that into our code here. Scrolling down, we have the CDN. This is what we want. And since we're going to be using jQuery in our script file, we're going to want to import this jQuery first. Save that, and then we'll add a header inside of our body. We'll call it an h1, and we're going to set some styling to that. And so basically, we're going to create this hidden header, and we're going to do some stuff to it. And so we'll have the style equal text align center, putting it in the center, and we'll give it the color white. So it's white text, and it's hidden on, this page with a white background. Then we'll give it the ID hidden, and we'll have the text be I was hidden. And then close that h1. Now if we open this index.html in the web page, here we are, you'll see nothing's there. But if I highlight, I was hidden, that's there. What if we can make it so when I hover over this h1, this I was hidden, it reveals itself. So maybe it turns the text of this header black. Well, we can do this with CSS and jQuery. And so going back to our code, we'll go to our script, and we're going to write some jQuery code using, its libraries, its methods. Here we go. We'll say document.ready function, open, close, curly bracket. And so basically what will happen is this thing inside of this thing will be called when the document is ready to, load stuff. It's all ready to go. And so what we'll do is we'll add some code to be run once, this document is ready to go. And so we'll say hashtag hidden dot hover function, open, close parentheses, open, close curly bracket. And what this does is if I hover over the thing with the ID hidden, the code inside of this will be run. And so basically this is setting up hey, if I hover over hidden, do this other stuff that's here. And so what we'll want to do is if we hover over our header that has the ID hidden, we'll want to select that hidden, element, and we'll want to say this, this hidden element, we're going to change its CSS, and we're going to set the color property equal to black. So now you can actually see this hidden thing. And so what happens when I, go away from the thing, so I move my mouse so it's no longer hovering over this hidden element? Well, we'd want a place where we can add code that could be run, once I move over my mouse. And so this would be a callback function. And so once I stop hovering over, this hidden thing, then I would want this callback function to be called. And so here we go, we're running it, function, open, close parentheses. This is what would be run if I stop hovering over this hidden thing. And so we don't want anything to happen just yet, and so we'll leave that callback function empty, but it's important you have it. And then we'll add these semicolons, save it up, make sure this is saved, and then we'll go ahead and refresh our index.html. And we hovered over it, and now it's hidden. But of course, when it doesn't re-hide itself once I stop hovering over it. But what if we wanted it to do that? Well, we could go back to our code, and we could actually hide it forever. It was one thing to make the text white, but if we go this.hide, open, close parentheses, and then add that semicolon, save, now when I refresh this, I'll hover over it, and then I'll leave it, but now when I try to find it again, it's gone. So it's like a James Bond, your message self-destructs type of thing. But of course, if I refresh the page, I, saw it for like 2 seconds and then it hit again. And then you can do it again, you can keep it over this, you go away, there you go. Back in our code, the hide function basically hides this element by setting this display property to none. And so you could accomplish this same, hide thing if we did display none. But of course, this is, less code, and so we use that instead. So we'll go ahead and comment that out. And if we go back to our index.html, we'll do one more example of how to use jQuery. And so if we add this button and we'll say alert me, button, save that up, and we'll say button.click function, open close parentheses, open close curly bracket. And so what will happen here is if I click the button, any button on the page, it doesn't have to be one specific button, then this type of code will be run. If I wanted it to work for one specific button, I would do something similar to this, where I'd have a hashtag, name, so it would be an ID, so that's only for one thing, versus this is a button, it's an HTML element, so any button I click, this will be run. And so inside of here, we'll, send out an alert because our button says alert me. And so we'll go alerts, I'm alerting you. That's what the alert is going to do. We'll save that. Go back here, we have this button, we click it, it alerts me. Could we have done this with plain vanilla JavaScript? Yes, but using the jQuery library makes a lot of this much easier to code and easier to read later on. Next week, we'll talk about AngularJS, which is a structural JavaScript framework that helps you build dynamic web apps. For the first time in the series, we will not be hard coding our content, but we'll be getting it from somewhere else. I hope you learned something in this week's episode, and I'll see you next Friday.